That's a big truck. And that is a volcano. And this morning we're taking a walk of the garden. You know what? I'm gonna let this gentleman here over here explain it. We're kind of lucky today because this area that we're going to is completely closed right now. We get a bit of a private tour from Alex over here. Good morning, Alex.
How you going, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so what are you gonna show us? Oh, by the way, this is more of a favor. This is not like a sponsored thing or anything. Alex has just agreed to give us a tour this morning. He works here and has been kind enough to open it up for us to do this live stream today. We met a while back and I've been looking for a chance to do a bit of a project together. And I asked if I could do a private stream of the area, the gardens, the shrine and everything. And you said yes, so
Yeah.
Thank you.
Early start though.
Yeah, it's currently what time in the morning?
What are we on? 6:15 now, but we've been up since about 5ish.
Yeah, so it is super early. So we're gonna start with the shrine here and then we're gonna get into the gardens. So how would you, first, where are we?
So we're in a place in Kagoshima called Sengan-en. And Sengan is basically the stately home and gardens of the Shimazu clan.
Okay.
So they're one of Japan's oldest warrior families with a history of about 800 years.
Okay.
And this was basically their kind of second house, their second residence apart from the castle.
Huh.
And it's been here for about, what, 360 years or something like that.
It's a long time.
So this is the shrine next to the house. It's Tsurugane Jinja, Tsurugane Shrine. And this is where, 31 generations of the Shimazu clan enshrined. So this is where we come to do kind of like rituals and things like that. The people who work here as well, we participate in these every month.
Okay.
All the, company employees and stuff like that come to the shrine and we all do the kind of rituals together as well. So it's like super traditional family, you know what I mean?
Wow. I just want to give a huge shout out to Sammy and say thank you so much for getting things kicked off with the super chats on the new channel. Super excited. And as you guys can already tell, Alex is an expert on all of this, which is why I wanted to do this walk with Alex this morning. So thank you very much.
Samurai history nerd here, so yeah.
And another huge thank you to Tim Hempstead for the morning coffee. So, okay, can you tell me a bit about this shrine?
Sure thing.
Are we able to walk over here?
Yeah, sure, no worries.
It's beautifully raked, actually. Look at this.
The gardeners have been out, cleaning it up. So, yeah. I mean, if you look over here, you can see the Shimazu family crest on the kind of decorations and stuff like that. So there's the circle with a cross in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the most famous one.
Gotcha.
So you'll see it all over Kagoshima on shops and, packaged goods and all kinds of stuff. Even manhole covers have it on.
Really?
Yeah, so, they're very proud of their kind of history and heritage and stuff like that. We can go over to the main shrine if you want to have a quick look over there.
Yeah.
This palisade,
I love this. Again, just the opportunity to go out and do this, be able to go beyond the walls. I feel very special today, Alex.
Yeah, it's, all access today. So we just built this part of the shrine recently, actually. So shrines in Japan get rebuilt quite often. It's part of Japanese culture to knock it down and rebuild it. So every 20 or 30 odd years or something like that, they have Shikinen Sengu, which is, destroying the shrine and rebuilding it from scratch. So, that's part of what we've done here.
And everybody's pointing out in the live stream to me that in my rush to get the live stream set up, I accidentally named it Most Powerful Clams Land.
Clams Land? Yeah. Oh my God.
Instead of clan, we are now walking. So I'll have to fix that afterwards. But yes, there are no clams in this live stream.
No powerful clams. Yeah. So this is the main shrine. The Shimazu family is still the Guji here, so the head priest. So my boss is the 33rd generation head of the family.
Wow.
And he performs kind of Shinto rites here, doing ancestor worship and stuff like that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a very simple, like, clan mark as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like the family crest.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some really intricate ones, but it's just so simple and easily recognizable.
It's good branding, you know what I mean? It's a good brand
It's good
symbol.
branding.
Yeah. It used to just be a cross, like a plus sign. But they changed it to the, circle with a cross in the middle of it in the Edo
Okay.
period.
Oh.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I was promised clams. Where are the clams?
There's no clams, I'm sorry. Probably find some. The sea's just over there, so, you can jump in.
So we were lucky enough this morning to get a clear and beautiful day. We had actually talked about doing this live stream tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we looked at the weather and saw that today was going to be a gorgeous day and we'd be able to have the Sakurajima volcano in the background. And so I thought, you know what, let's do it this morning. So thank you.
Last time you were here, it rained, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally, except for one day, the entire time it rained. So, and this, you can actually see a hint of the gardens over there. That's where we're going to be heading. This is actually my first time to fully explore this area. Last time I came to make the Sakurajima volcano documentary, Alex gave me a bit of a walkthrough after it had closed at the end of the day. And I thought that if we were able to ever come back and do a proper live stream for it, it would be a ton of fun. And the more Alex talked, the more I learned and the more I got into the history. And I know that so many of you guys really enjoy that as well. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity for us to do that. I non-stop bug Alex until he finally said yes. And here we are.
I will get up at 5 a.m. You see the ferry coming back in there.
Oh yeah. I don't know if the 720p of the live stream will allow it. And this is the Shimazu clan, right?
Shimazu clan, that's correct, yeah.
All right, so in answer to Mary, this is the land of the Shimazu clan. Now, if you were to put a simplified twist on describing the Shimazu clan for both those who love history and those who have no interest whatsoever,
Yeah.
how would you describe them? What is their story?
So basically the Shimazu were the only clan who managed to hold on to the original land holding for the whole 800 years from the Kamakura period all the way to the end of the Edo period.
Okay.
So they were hugely influential in this region. And they were also, great innovators as well. So they changed with the times and increased their influence and power. So that kind of makes them unique compared to other clans. We'll see a little bit about why, as we go through the gardens.
Okay. Even just walking in, just the entrance is already really nice.
So there's basically, simply described, Sengan-en is broken down into kind of 3 major areas. Right?
Okay.
So the place we're in now is this part of the map here.
Okay.
So originally this was actually a factory complex in the late 19th century. So the feudal lord Shimazu Nariakira, who was the 28th head of the family, cut down a big bamboo forest that was here and started building factories to try and modernize.
Okay.
And the reason he did it was because the Opium War was happening in China. They were afraid they would get colonized by Western countries like Britain.
Okay.
And they needed to make kind of weapons to, protect themselves, basically. So this part of the garden is to do with industrial heritage.
All right.
And then the further we go across that way into the deeper part of the garden, it goes back to the Edo period, the 1600s historical garden as well.
Okay.
So it's quite a big contrast. It's almost as if we're going back in time from the present day through the 1800s back to the early 1600s. Before we start, there's one thing I want to show you over here, which you only find in southern Kyushu, particularly Kagoshima.
Okay.
Next to rice fields as well, usually. So you can see there's a little stone statue there on the right. So this little rice field is actually for the shrine. We grow rice here.
Okay.
Use it as an offering in the shrine.
So this is a singular rice field for the sole purpose of the shrine.
Yeah. So we get little ducks in here soon. They'll be coming out and they swim around and eat all the bugs up and stuff like that. And then the rice is grown and used as an offering for the shrine over there. But this is Tano Kami-sama. It's called in Japanese, or Tano Kansa in Kagoshima Bay.
Okay.
And it's like a little god next to the rice field. So it looks like a little kind of old man or a woman with a rice scoop.
Yeah.
For fertility and stuff like that. But if you look at it from behind, it's a little bit difficult to see here. It looks like something else, which you would like to be fertile as well.
Okay, yeah.
So it's very kind of Japanese in that way. It looks like, well, I'll let you say it. It's your chance. So there's kind of hidden meanings in these little statues and things like that. They want a fertile rice field, but they also want lots of kids, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like a big, you know, you can guess what.
So what's the story up here? What do we got here?
So this is the remains of a furnace that was built here in the 1850s. And it was used to melt down iron and make cannon.
Okay.
So they actually produced lots and lots of cannon here.
Hmm.
And what makes this thing interesting is that they actually built it because they they got plans from a textbook from Holland.
Okay.
And literally just copied them.
Really?
Yeah. With no, you know, help or instruction or anything like that. The plans are just here actually. From this one page, they managed to make a 20-meter high building.
Really?
With melt iron. And melting iron is really, really hard. You know,
Wow.
it sounds like simple today. But just from this, the feudal lord Nakamura just handed it to his samurai and said, make this. And
Really?
this is the era when you've got to commit seppuku. You've got to cut your stomach open if you fail.
Yeah.
You know, so they obviously all panicked, didn't know what to do. They built a first furnace behind this one actually.
Okay.
And because they'd never built a tall building before, they didn't know that it needed foundations. So it kind of leaned over to one side, propped it up with bamboo, it leaned over to the other side, just fell over. And then the second one, they kind of used Japanese stone cutting techniques like you see in castle walls.
Okay.
That's why it looks a bit like a castle. And used potter's clay to line the inside so it wouldn't melt. And then they successfully managed to kind of melt iron down. So, you know, experimenting feudal lord in the kind of late 19th century. So now we're going into the kind of historical part of the garden.
Okay.
We have a walk actually till the entranceway.
It's actually a really nice walk. The first time that we came out here and we did this walk here, I was already thinking like, oh, this is exactly the kind of walk that I want to do on a live stream.
Yeah.
Because it's just got that beautiful, especially like we get sunrise here. It's got last time we came at sunset.
Yeah.
So it's got that beautiful sunrise feel that, you know, as soon as we get through on the right-hand side, we're going to have Sakurajima volcano there.
Yeah.
So.
We've actually got a bit of construction because we're actually closed today.
Okay.
We're closed till the end of the month. But you know, today obviously we're specially opened up, so we don't usually have construction going on and stuff like that. But.
So, in my live streams, I tend to typically come across a lot of stairs.
Right.
How many stairs can we anticipate in today's live stream?
Zero, because nobody's here. Apart maybe a few gardeners will be out later.
No, I mean like stairs as in kaidan.
Oh, stairs.
Yeah,
stairs.
steps.
I thought you meant people staring. That's likely as well, I guess. Stairs, not that many. There's one case, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully trying to get out of breath.
I don't wanna disappoint people. So guys, so far, again, we're out here just on some pocket Wi-Fi. How is the signal doing? How is the sound doing? How's the picture? It actually looks like, I always feel bad doing live streams actually at places like this because the live stream comes through in 720p and there's no way that 720p can do all of this justice.
Yeah.
So.
I suppose it's got that kind of fresh live appeal to it as well, which is always nice.
Okay guys, people are saying signal is terrible, so, or worse, I've made an attempt. Was this part of a building?
This is, it's part of a power plant. So
Okay.
Mazzaclan actually own gold mines as well. And this was one of the power generator buildings, you know, roof or whatever.
Okay.
So we've moved it here just to display the family crest and stuff like that. We actually still own a gold mine as well, but it's not operational at the moment.
Feels like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, well.
So. All right, signal is getting much better now, it seems.
Oh, good.
This gate here is just stunning as well.
Yeah, so this is actually a newer addition to the garden. So this again's like Meiji period, like, you know, late 1800s. And it's got the family crests on the top there. You see the circle with the cross in.
Yeah.
And then these guardian lion dogs on the corners as well. You can see, I don't know if you can see closely, one's always got its mouth open, the other one's always got its mouth closed. Representing A and Un, like the start and end of the universe and infinity and all that stuff.
So I got some questions here in the live chat. asking, so what is your official position within the clan?
Yeah, good question. Peon. What is my position? I'm head of overseas business for Shimazu.
Okay.
So I'm in charge of all kind of inbound tourism, promotion. I do things like websites for them as well. You know, all kinds of stuff. Anything
Awesome.
that's not in Japanese is me.
And again, just 2 clarifications for the live stream, guys. Number 1, there will be no clams. I can't. I just typo first thing in the morning. It
No
happens.
powerful clams.
There are going to be no clams present in this live stream whatsoever. And the second clarification is that again, this is not like a sponsored thing. We just got really lucky, and Alex was willing to give us a walkthrough today, and I thought it would be really nice.
So these are, what is it, the pine trees in the gardens. We've got about 180 of these around the grounds. Just now the gardeners are actually pruning them. So for one tree about this size, it takes 2 gardeners a whole day
Really?
to prune it. Yeah, it takes forever.
Wow. How often do they get pruned?
So twice a year.
Okay.
And then, you know, seasonally, so once this time of year and once again in like November time.
Wow.
So it's an awful lot of work to maintain them. If they're about later on, we can have a chat with them. But they speak really thick Kagoshima Ben, so it's kind of hard to understand.
Any thicker than that gentleman in the
The
documentary?
guy, the guy in Sakurajima is very special. Nobody speaks as thick as he does. I don't know where you found him.
I just found him disposing of some garbage.
Really?
He was literally just like throwing stuff into the bushes. And I was like, what is this guy doing? And then he caught me looking at him, so I had to say hello, and boom, there we were.
So I watched that video with my
So-
family, and like my wife was just like, I can't understand a word he's saying. And she's from here, so it's like, what can you say, man? So we're just kind of coming into the main garden area now. You can see like there's this palisade kind of thing in the way, so you can't see. This is quite common for Japanese gardens to block off a view. And then when you go through, you're kind of in the world of the garden, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of stepping into like a Chinese ink painting almost. That's the kind of thinking behind this place, right? So when we go around here, we should see something nice.
Wow.
Oh, wow, nice.
Look at that, eh? So that there is Sakurajima. It is the volcano that I basically spent a week living on to make the documentary. Both of those up, the documentary and the behind the scenes are up on TOKYOLENS now. You got that nice fog going over it right there. I don't know how much the signal is allowing you to see. And of course, the last time I was here, I didn't get to see any eruptions because it was cloudy the whole time.
Yeah.
This time it's been clear the whole time, and this is officially the least smoke I've ever seen
I know,
above Sakurajima.
yeah. We can only hope it's going to erupt at some point, but you know,
So,
maybe it will. Who knows? When you're looking at it, it doesn't do it. You know.
no, it's the definition of a watch pot never boils.
That's it.
So.
Yeah. So you know, we've got a lot of historical features here. These big lanterns and stuff.
Mm.
You know, this one's got like a lion dog on it again.
Ah.
Jumping in the air, so its head's at the bottom and its legs are kind of kicking up in the air there.
Mm.
But this stone was like dragged from the beach over there, just dragged up here, you know, and put on top of there. So they went through an awful lot of effort, you know, to please the Lord.
There you go. So there's one more thing that I'm gonna secretly toss in here. So if you look at the shadows, you'll notice that there are shadows for 3 people. There's a third magical hidden individual. Mitch is here with us. Hi Mitch. That is a lot of shadows. I'm gonna come over this way.
I was trying to stay out of the shot.
And actually, Mitch and I are gonna be recording a very, very long walk and putting it up on TOKYOLENS Explore in full 4K glory for you guys later on. But this is actually a really beautiful garden space. I would love to walk through this.
Yeah, let's go.
So last time that I came here, we actually went over here and we were able to get some beautiful, beautiful shots of the volcano.
No, it's a good view from here. That was why they chose this land, right? Because it's
Oh.
got the best kind of view. They say Sakurajima looks more masculine from this side.
It
I
looks-
don't know what that means, but it sounds good. So that's literally what they say. So
That's definitely what you want. Your volcanoes need to look more masculine. So, do you mind if I cross over this way?
go on, you can do that.
So, there's actually a really nice view from up here. This gives me real bedrock vibes. I don't know about anybody else, but and for all of you joining in who are new to the channel, this is your formal invitation from me to A, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you. B, give that like button some love. And C, good news, we have crossed everything that we need to cross for all the partnership stuff. So we are officially part of the YouTube partner program and fully monetized. We've got super chats, we've got all of that. So super excited to start ramping up the live streams. Guys, I'm thinking we might be doing a 6 to 7 hour live stream at one point. It's a huge challenge I'm looking forward to do this summer. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right, let's head back down. I just like this view.
No, it's nice in here,
Yeah, every time I try not to coming is easy. It's going back that's the... There we go. Whew.
No, it's nice for a morning stroll here. You know, especially with nobody around. It makes it nice and relaxing.
Does this place typically get pretty crowded?
Yeah, in peak season it kind of gets a bit busier. So generally kind of Golden Week and that time, you know, the Japanese holidays, it's very popular. But because the site's so big, you know, it never really gets crammed.
What is the like official size of the land of this garden?
Oh god, I can't remember. It's like 50,000 square meters.
It's a lot of square meters.
So it's quite big.
So when people come out here, aside from tourists and whatnot, what is the most common, like, are people coming out for photo shoots? Are people coming out for their weddings? What is it?
All kinds of things. I mean, people do the photo shoot before the wedding. Go back up here.
Okay.
They also do, you know, events. We have events through the year, cultural events. So people come for those. You know, we have movies and TV made here as well sometimes.
Okay.
So we had a crew from NHK, about 150 people, come to make one of their national, you know, TV dramas that goes on for a year. That was made here a couple of years back.
I also like the little trains that pass by here.
Yeah, we've got train tracks right in front. When they built these, actually, you know, it was kind of a status symbol to have a train track in front of your house in a weird way. Okay. Because it was seen as being like super modern technology. And because they had a factory complex over there, they kind of liked the fact that it was there actually. Which seems very strange nowadays, but you know. Okay, so do we have crop circles here? Yes, we do. We were just doing a satanic ritual earlier. So, I don't know what that is. Someone's drawn a quite an accurate circle on the ground there.
Yeah, it's like embedded in the ground.
Is it a Venn diagram? There's two of them. Someone's done a giant Venn diagram of God knows what.
Not a lot of overlap either.
Yeah. There's also rabbit poo here, if you notice.
That
the gardens have been closed.
Okay.
Rabbits come down from the mountain.
It's a
and kind of poo on the
that's
floor.
no small amount either.
No, they like to do it there. Don't know why. Maybe they drew the circle as well.
It's rabbits. They have their own rituals.
Yeah, they do their own rituals. You know. The house is all. This isn't boarded up. These are kind of shutters that slide closed. So obviously it's super early morning, so we've not opened it up yet. Okay.
Now I've got people in the comments asking, is there an official website that I could link in the description or something after? Or I could have the moderation crew take a look at.
Yeah. So there's a website, Sengan.jp, SENGANEN.jp, and then there's an English language switcher in the top right.
Awesome. So if somebody from the mod squad can grab that, toss it into the comments section. And
got the koi pond. It's looking a bit green today.
It's quite green today.
Yeah, gardeners need to clear that up. Look, here we go. Got some black nishikigoi. Not nishikigoi, nihongoi. So we don't use the colourful ones here because they're not supposedly historically accurate for this kind of garden.
Okay.
They weren't bred yet when this place was built. So we just use the black ones instead. They kind of follow you around because they think they're going to get fed. Not going to happen.
Not gonna get. We don't feed them here.
No, don't feed them. Feed yourself.
These here, for all my time in Japan, you never really get used to. It's always exciting to walk across one of these railless bridges or just hop across some pond stones. Man, my English in the morning is just something else, isn't it? Hop across some pond stones.
Hop across some pond stones for a powerful clam.
I am never gonna live this clam thing down. That is it. So
this area is all really manicured. Like they spend a lot of time, you know, making sure it looks just right. The one thing that interests me about Japanese gardens compared to Western ones is there are no straight lines at all.
yeah,
Everything's curved.
yeah.
So it's supposed to look like it just occurred like this. But in fact, everything's very, very carefully measured out and placed there as well. But it's supposed to look as if it's natural, right?
So I got a small request. There is a viewer with a little one who would like to see a little more of the koi.
Okay, we'll try and get them to.
See if we can't get closer up to the koi fish for you here.
I don't know if clapping works. Old Japanese guys clap when they come here.
And then they
believe
clap.
The koi will come, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay.
If you make a throwing motion, they'll probably come up. There.
Oh. There we go. Oh, there's some over here.
Oh, they're all coming now. Look, they think they're gonna get fed.
So these are historically accurate fish.
So these are Nihongoi, yeah, black ones. So the colourful ones were bred in the kind of 1800s.
Ah.
So this garden's already 200 odd years old by that point. So.
On the vast majority of my travels, I've always aimed to go for a lot of the back streets, unexplored areas, and the off the beaten path stuff. And one of the big reasons that I try not to get too deep into places like this typically is they're usually crowded. There's usually people walking around, and there's also the can you get in? Is it going to be okay to record inside and all of that? And having the opportunity to come out and be able to share this with you guys completely uninterrupted, be able to address questions and learn more about the history than I ever would have been able to share with you to begin with is really exciting. So I know we're midstream still, but I just want to express some gratitude to you, Alex, for allowing us to come out here. So thank you.
My pleasure.
Also, I want to give a huge shout out. Shared a lovely super chat there. Thank you, Stephanie. Hi. And what is this?
That's a pump that brings water from the mountain behind to the pond we just saw before. So these are kind of, again, industrial kind of relics from the factory complex and stuff like that.
So you probably get this to the point where you're tired of hearing of it, but how many people tell you that this looks like something straight out of Ghibli?
Yeah, I know, yeah. No, it really does. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's got a kind of steampunk vibe to it as well a bit.
It does.
And
It's
there's
like,
another one over there as well. There's a hydroelectric power plant
okay.
over there as well. So they were very quick on innovation and stuff like that, and it does look super Ghibli and kind of cool, you know.
Yeah, it's just got all the Ghibli vibes.
Yeah,
Steampunk Ghibli right there.
So the drinking water here used to be really good, apparently.
Okay.
But then, like, there was a big landslide in the 90s,
Oh.
and that kind of made it undrinkable, unfortunately, because it kind of mixed up the water source or whatever.
Oh, that's too bad.
But we still got a lot of water kind of coming out of the natural spring.
So we're walking over a bit of a creek, a river right now. Again, still very much, if you've ever been to Kyushu, I think Kyushu is the ultimate home of the Ghibli vibes. And Lois Romer coming in with a super chat at $5 saying, have a coffee on me. Well, thank you very much. Actually, I rocked up today and you already had a coffee in hand. I was like, you bugger, this is so,
7-Eleven, save
how
me.
dare you?
Yeah.
Are we going right or left?
Either way.
Let's start right maybe? This is gorgeous and I love the sunlight coming through.
Let's choose your own adventure here. You can go anywhere you like. Man.
So you guys will notice that I'm trying to keep Alex on this side of the camera with me as much as possible. And it's because Alex, say ABC.
ABC.
Okay, watch what happens when I put Alex on this side of the camera.
This side, all right.
Yeah, say ABC again.
ABC.
Yeah, for some reason, as soon as he gets on that side of the camera, the mic stops registering his voice.
Really?
So, yeah. So every time you present from that side, everyone's like, oh, his voice got really quiet. And I'm like, ah. So that's why I've been trying to keep you on my right side, so you're close to the mic here.
Should we go over this little bridge here?
Yes, we shall.
Again, try not to fall into the river.
Today's just a game of don't fall into the river.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the hydrangeas up there as well.
Yeah, they're really nice this time of year.
Wow.
Kind of blues, and the ones on the other side are a bit more pink. I think it's the alkali soil or something like that. Alkali nature of the soil that makes them look like that.
The most of the hydrangea out in the Tokyo area have long since wilted and gone away. These ones are absolutely beautiful here still.
If you want more of that Ghibli vibe, this is like an old power plant. It's built here as well. So this kind of looks like it's out of that world as well, you know.
Oh, it really does.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting real Raputa vibes.
Yeah.
Look at that. And Viola in with a £2.99 super chat. Thank you so much for that. Now I notice we've got this road here.
Yeah.
And again, as you said, it's a choose your own adventure. We've also got this pathway here.
And we've got another pathway there.
And another one over there. Do they lead to the same place?
Pretty much.
Can we take the stone stairway?
We can, that's the best one, yeah. It's
awesome.
Exciting. Yeah.
We get a close-up for you guys on these hydrangeas here just because they look so beautiful right now. You bring that back to this. Wow. So we're gonna head over this way, up these stairs, and I'm gonna hope that I can be lucky enough not to fall down while streaming and just kill the stream. It wouldn't be the first time.
There's actually a little Buddhist statue over there. Can you see it behind the waterfall? Well, there's not much water coming down at the moment. But there's a little dude sat in that cave where the water's dripping down.
Okay.
It's quite hard to see on that.
On the stream, it might be a bit tough to see right in, where's my poke? Right there.
So our gardeners found that face down not too long ago, about 10 years ago, and propped it back up again, and it turned out to be a Buddhist statue hidden behind the waterfall there. So we put some little kind of leaves out next to it in Shinto style. And, you know, there's lots of little kind of hidden historical things about the place like that, you know.
Little historical Easter eggs, if you will.
Easter eggs, yeah.
And Dan so Dan actually won the Tokyo Treat Box giveaway over on Patreon and is sending in a little help for postage. Thank you very much. I hope you don't mind terribly if I use postage for lunch. I think I got you. And Art Shibuya in here. Wow. Art Shibuya coming in saying, hey Norm, sorry I'm late. Here's some breakfast on me. Art, thank you so much. Art, I also saw that you joined the other side of the adventure. Super excited to have you. I look forward to getting to know you a lot better. Wow, this is stunning. Now, the last time I was here, Alex, you were telling me that you had just done a hike or a climb up that mountain over there?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So,
you can climb that mountain?
Yeah, you can climb up to, you see just on the right there, you won't be able to see on the camera, but there's a
okay, yeah.
viewpoint there. You can go all the way up there, there's a path that goes to the top.
It's right there,
yeah.
Okay. So it's just like an open hiking path for anybody who comes here?
Yeah, hiking trail, it's about 30 minutes one way to the
okay.
top, and then 30 minutes back again. But I actually went to the top of the rock, we'll see it in a little bit.
Okay.
With the gardeners. It's not accessible generally by the public, but you know, there's a few kind of hidden paths and things like that as well.
If I'm gonna fall anywhere, it's gonna be here.
It's not the best for getting around in a kimono if you think about it. I often wonder how they did it back in the day. You know, kimono and those zori, like the slippers or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of tricky walking around this place, you know what I mean?
You usually don't get a very long or wide stride when you're in that.
Yeah. So this is a little kind of Chinese influenced garden.
Okay.
So it's called a Kyokusui garden. And every April we have a festival where people in kimono, traditional clothing, float cups of sake down this river. and they have to write out a poem before the cup of sake goes in front of them.
Really?
So it's like a traditional drinking party / poetry event.
That is, honestly, I've never even heard of anything like that.
Yeah.
It's like the traditional take on a drinking game.
Yeah, it's like beer pong for samurai aristocrats.
Samurai beer pong aristocrats. I love it.
Yeah.
And Guts is in here saying, I always love seeing hydrangeas. Here's a little something for a morning snack. Thank you very much. I'm gonna try to eat healthy this morning, but I desperately want an espresso.
There's some little crabs over here, if you look.
Crabs? Oh my lord.
So these
What?
crabs come out of the river
Huh.
and kind of crawl around this whole area. So when it's humid, they actually come out like this.
It just keeps getting more and more ghibli. That guy's like, let me in.
Let me in.
Wow. Yeah, actually, as we walked up here, there's a little creek down here, and the crabs just scattered. It was just red, just going. That was my crab noise, by the way. In case you've never heard a crab scattering noise, that is it. It's.
So we don't have clams, but we do have crabs. So they're all kind of,
There we go.
Crabs, yeah.
Yeah. There's
Cozy little house there.
another guy just hanging out over here. Wow. I'm actually, like, I'll be honest, if we get through this entire thing and I don't see a bunny rabbit, I'll be slightly sad. They make me look at their droppings and I don't get to see them. It's just, it feels like got the raw end of the deal there.
Honestly, they're not particularly cute though, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah, they're kind of little fat things with tiny little ears.
But that sounds adorable. Like little
Yeah,
fat rabbit.
It's like a kind of failed rabbit, you know.
It's like a failed rabbit.
Yeah. There's a little shrine here if you want to pop in and have a look.
Yeah, let's take a peek.
So this is the Oniwa Jinja,
Okay.
so the garden shrine, if you will. And the Shimazu clan had lots of different houses, actually, not just here. And when it became modern times, they'd lost a lot of those properties, and all the different shrines on those properties are put together into this one kind of super shrine.
Okay, well, I love one super shrine.
Yeah. So there's 13 different gods in this one. That were gathered from all those different places.
One shrine to rule them all.
One shrine to rule them all. This is the luckiest one in Kagoshima, apparently.
Really, this shrine right here?
Yeah.
There we go. We'll change the live stream title from Clams to Luckiest Shrine
Luckiest
in
Shrine.
Kagoshima.
There's a reason why as well, because there was a big landslide here in the 90s
Ah.
that destroyed all of this section around here, and it actually flooded the
Really?
whole of Tenmonkan as well, up to about like waist height.
Really?
Big disaster. All of this was destroyed apart from this shrine. There was like an island literally around it, with this totally undamaged.
Wow.
So you can see it in a little bit, the wall at the back, where the old wall was and where the new one was built as well. You can see exactly where it broke down.
What?
So it's so weird that it was just kind of on its own and survived like that. But the gardeners, because of that, believe it's super lucky.
And I think we're right in for the perfect season for the moss to look the best as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like right around, what, June, July?
Yeah. So Shinryoku season. So just before rainy season, into rainy season, when the new greenery comes out, very verdant and green. So it looks nice and pretty.
Now, on the previous visit, more crabs. We got a little bit beyond this.
Yeah.
And then we stopped and turned back for the sake of time. So I know nothing beyond this at this point.
Right.
Is everything we're about to experience now is going to be brand new for me.
This is the wall here where the shrine got destroyed. So this is the original wall.
Uh-huh.
And then all from this area on was destroyed by the landslide. And the same on the other side as well. So you can literally see it was, just this area that didn't get knocked down.
Huh.
Mitch is saying it looks like one of those, like, a video game, a secret wall.
Yeah.
So we've got a slightly different texture.
And in case you guys are wondering who Mitch is, if you're just joining the stream now, this is Mitch,
Just hanging out.
a Kagoshima local who has helped out so much with making the videos that I did here possible. So thank you for that. Also, who doesn't love bamboo?
Yeah.
Everybody loves bamboo.
This is interesting because it's supposed to be Japan's first bamboo grove of this kind, this mosochika, the thick stuff.
Really?
Yeah, because it was imported from China. It's not native to Japan.
Okay.
So in the 1700s, they apparently brought it here through Okinawa and planted 2 of them in this grove, and then it spread out all across Japan from here, is the story.
Wow.
So Arashiyama in Kyoto, stuff like that, came from this place originally.
Okay, guys. So that, just to recap and re-say literally what was just said, that is so interesting. That might be my favorite Kagoshima factoid so far. If you're wondering where this type of bamboo came from across Japan, including Kyoto's Arashiyama Bamboo Grove, it all started right here. A recap, do I need to say it? Does it need to be said a third time? I feel like it needs to be. It all started here. That is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's Shimazu Yoshitaka. I can't remember the name. There's so many of them, it's hard to remember which one it was.
The more we walk through and the more you share, the more I can understand why you're so excited and passionate about this.
Yeah, it's fun. There's stories everywhere, you know. It's just what you're interested in and what you want to dig up. For me, being like samurai enthusiast, it's always good.
And I want to say that Wayne Grover is in here with a 10-pound super chat saying, great place for a morning walk. Hope breakfast is as good as the garden. I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of pressure on breakfast right now to be good after this garden. But Wayne, thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate it.
So there's a dead end up here. We can go up and have a look if you want. It's like Suijin, the water god at the end. But it's like, we'll have to come back again.
Okay. Guys, as we go deeper into the mountain area, keep me updated on the signal strength and how everything is looking. Additionally, for anybody joining the live stream right now, we are in Kagoshima at the, I guess, base in front of Sakurajima, and we're getting a private tour of clams. But there are no clams in this live stream. So if you want to know, there's so much information to share that I can't do a summary right now. So if you're just joining at this point of the live stream, I highly recommend going back earlier to the beginning and watching that as soon as you can. And I've got a question from a viewer here saying, is this Shiroyama?
No, actually, Shiroyama's in the city center. It's the mountain behind the city center. This is, if you look at a map of Kagoshima, it's kind of above the city center, about 10-15 minutes drive away.
Okay.
But Shiroyama, yeah, is a famous mountain in Kagoshima. That's where Saigo Takamori, who's known as the last samurai, made his last stand against the Japanese government.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a famous place.
And so also to the mod squad, to May and everybody, thank you so much for sharing links and keeping everybody updated as we walk along. And Raquel is in here saying, thank you for the history lesson and pretty scenery with a wonderful super chat. Thank you so much.
So this is spring water that comes up from the mountain up here.
Okay.
And comes down. So it's all, you know, it's really clear and cold as well. It's really nice actually on a hot day. And then here we have Suijin, which is the water god.
Okay.
Little shrine in here. It's a bit dark, so it's quite hard to see. But you know, this is around to say, you know, thank you basically for providing fresh water and things like that as well. So actually beyond here, there's an old path that leads to a waterfall, but we can't get there. It's overgrown and, you know, inaccessible at the moment. But maybe one day we might have a look at opening it up. But it's a long way up that way.
Is it?
Yeah.
So Alex is saying that, whoa, that is the biggest spider web I think I've ever walked into in my life. All right, the bamboo won't stop me, but that spider web will. That is, oh my God, it's everywhere.
We'll have to go around.
There's so much spider web. Oh.
Yeah, they have big ones here.
That was a very aggressive, it like physically slowed me down as I walked across. It put up enough resistance to slow down a full-grown man with a 40-kilogram backpack.
You'll find it on yourself later on as well. That's the worst thing about it, right?
Yeah.
Pull them off like that, you know.
I did a documentary about an abandoned village a while back, and I actually downplayed it a lot in the video, but I don't think I've ever been covered in so many spiders or spider webs in my entire life. I'd say once every 2 to 3 minutes, it was impossible to make a video I was just constantly pulling spiders, and I'd get in the car, sit down, and there'd be like 4 or 5 spiders crawling around the car. I'm like, where did you come from, you little... Yeah, that was... Nobody goes out to some of these places. So you find yourself out in the middle of nowhere at a place that people probably haven't been to in weeks, if not months. And you're the only person walking through there, and the spiders have just taken it back.
Yeah,
So.
it's amazing how quickly nature reclaims things, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, here we've been closed for like a month or whatever, and the gardeners come in every day to clean up. But even then, you know, rabbits are coming into the garden, wild boar as well, started coming down from the mountain. You know, crabs are out everywhere. There's another one there, look at him, having a rest.
So there was a question in here that was actually addressed earlier in the stream, but it was a really interesting point, so I'm going to readdress it. It was asking if the placement of the stones and the layout of the garden is haphazard by nature or if that's by design. And Alex was talking earlier about how a lot of this, you know, Japanese gardens avoid straight lines. They try to go for these curves that look really natural. And the stone placement, the layout of the garden and everything is haphazard by design in the goal of giving it a natural look and feel, but apparently takes quite a bit of effort and time to achieve.
Yeah, I mean, like there are actually textbooks that go into just the position of stones, for example. Like you have to have a set of 3 that overlap each other, and they have to be certain sizes.
Wow.
You know, it's really, really detailed as to how they should be placed.
It's a nice little walkway there.
Yeah, no, it's a lovely time of year. November time, this is all, you know, red with the autumn leaves as well. Really nice.
Now I got to come back in the fall. What have you done, Alex?
Yeah, I know. We've got to get Sakurajima erupting as well sometimes. So you've got to come back until that happens.
People are asking, is that a stream or a moat?
A bit of both, I guess.
A little from column A, a little from column B.
So going up here, there's a shrine, another one, but this one's to do with cats, which is quite unusual.
Okay.
So actually, strictly speaking, in Shinto, animals can't be deities, but here they are. So I don't know what that is. So this is a nekogami in Japanese, a cat shrine in English, and people come from all over Japan to, you know, write ema, these plaques here, to wish for good luck for their cats and long life and things like that. And the reason it's here is because the 17th head of the Shimazu family, Shimazu Yoshihiro, famous general, very strong warrior and cat lover as well. He went to Korea to fight on the orders of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, who was like the regent of Japan. And he took 7 cats with him.
Okay, he took 7 cats.
And the reason he took 7 cats is because he wanted to tell the time of day. Which makes no sense whatsoever.
He took... Wait. He
here.
took 7 cats because he wanted to be able to tell...
Yeah.
What, based on their eyes?
Yeah, so he looked into their eyes and the dilation of the pupils. So it says here, like at 6 a.m. it was like a circle, and then at 8 o'clock like an egg, and then a persimmon seed and a needle, and back the other way again.
So he was like, I'm not screwed. I'm not looking at the sun. I'm just gonna look at
gonna
cats,
and
see
look
how
at
much
them.
the cats are squinting.
But apparently they used it on the boats to be able to, you know, understand the time of day and double check it. Is the story. And 2 of those cats came back and they were enshrined here.
Okay.
So it's like a super lucky shrine for cat lovers in Japan. So February 22nd they all gather here for like a special ceremony with a Shinto priest, because February 22nd in Japan is Nigatsu 22 nichi, nyan nyan nyan. Yeah, they love these kind of things, right?
They really do, don't they?
Yeah.
Japan is a very onomatopoeia type country. And I gotta say, so your Apple Watch just went off and like yelled something at us.
I don't know what it was. Yeah. It's got that, what's it, raised to speak on? So if I move my arm too much, it starts talking to me.
I have really sad news. So you'll notice I'm not wearing a watch, yet I have a tan line there.
Right.
My Apple Watch that I've been using for the past 5 years, it's an old Series 1 Apple Watch,
Right.
just exploded on my wrist the other day.
No way.
Not in a dangerous way.
Right.
The battery just kind of overheated and went boom, and the
Really?
screen just
No way.
popped right off of it. So and it happened right before coming. So
Yeah, I have to get a new one.
I think I'm a fix over buy kind of guy,
Right.
and so I've been like watching the YouTube videos on how you can like repair an old Series 1 Apple Watch and tear it apart. So look at these though.
Yeah, so they're a bit bluer over this side of the garden because the soil's more or less alkali. I can't remember, can't remember which one it is.
Those ones are very blue over here, very purple over here.
I have to say I work in a Japanese garden, but flowers are my weakest point. It's the thing I know least about, which is, not really that useful. History, I'm okay, but...
Oh. Okay, so now that we kind of got to see this once,
Yeah.
I'm looking at a very slow trickle here. I'm assuming that probably happens once every 20 to 30 minutes.
That's going to take a while, yeah, because it's not been raining much, so we don't have a lot of water coming through. But, this is the Sakontaro, and it's like a rice husking machine.
Okay.
So you put rice in this bowl here, and then water would fill up and kind of smash the rice and take the shell off it or whatever.
So, if you guys missed that a few seconds ago, we actually got to see this thing fill with water, tip, and smash.
So usually it's a bit quicker than that, but that's going to take some time to get.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that's going to be overpowering it anytime soon. So what have we got up here? Because again, from this point on, it's all brand new to me. I have no idea what's coming up next, where we're heading.
So this part of the garden's much more kind of wild than the front part. So the front's very kind of manicured and very carefully kept. The back part is kind of much more kind of tropical plants and moss and things like that. So it's definitely kind of more adventurous type vibe as well. And there are some kind of old relics lying around as well to look at too.
And wow, silver, that is, I don't know what to say, silver, that is crazy. Thank you. F to Norm's watch. How does Alex know so much about the Shimazus? So first off, let me say thank you so much for that incredibly kind super chat. Also for how Alex knows so much, it's because Alex is the Shimazu. No, I didn't expect to choke on my own terrible joke. No, Alex works here and has been kind enough to open up the garden just for us for a private tour today. How long have you worked here?
So I've been in Kagoshima for 15 years.
Okay.
I've been working for about 6.
Okay.
As a full-time employee. But before that, I did lots of contract work for them. And I do traditional culture as well, traditional cultural arts. So they kind of knew me from that too.
Now, that's one of the things that kind of bonded us right from the get-go, is the traditional arts that we both take part in. Me with the shamisen, and we'll get to you in 2 seconds as I say Miss Mindy Dever. Although I'm sure the powerful Clams take care of Alex. Here's an awesome tour guide for him, coffees for Norman. Okay guys, so lunch and coffee is entirely on me today. Well, I guess realistically it's on Miss Mindy Dever here. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Mindy.
Okay. First, we got to talk about the giant rock because it just feels like there's a story here.
Yeah.
And then second, I'd like to share a little bit about you and the traditional arts that you partake in with the audience. So can you tell us about the rock star?
Yeah, it's a big rock. That's about it. It's probably volcanic, so it's probably come out of the volcano at some point. And it's just placed here. Japanese people like rocks a lot. They're a big feature of Japanese gardens. One of the most important features, really. So trees, rocks, and water are the 3 things that people really should be looking at when they come to a garden like this, rather than flowers, I guess.
Yeah, when you say garden, I think a lot of people's mind defaults to flowers, but in a Japanese garden, it's that trifecta.
It's rocks, yeah, usually.
Rocks.
Have you seen the tree up there as well that's kind of straddling a big rock?
Yeah, that is a huge tree.
So it's actually on top of a rock there, and it's got kind of almost like it's sitting on top of it. It's very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So, as we walk up, are we going up the moss-grown stairs?
Yeah, we can do. There's a little interesting statue just next to that big rock, actually, here.
Let's take a peek.
This thing. So this is called a rokujizo.
Okay.
So Jizo Bosatsu is like a Buddhist deity who looks out for travelers in particular. And this one's got one of those on all 6 sides to represent the 6 realms of Buddhism.
Okay.
And to protect people in all those realms. And the Shimazu used to carve these apparently on battlefields when they'd finished fighting, so that their enemies and their allies could both go to Buddhist paradise together.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, we've got one of them here, but they're a feature that's quite common of places where there were battles that the Shimazu were involved in. So they were thinking about, you know, their enemies as well as their allies too.
So quick check-in with the viewers as we're getting a little thicker into the mountainous area here. Let me know how the signal and everything is doing. Thanks again to the Mod Squad for sharing the links and all that. So Alex,
Yeah.
much like myself with the shamisen, you find yourself deep into a very, very Japanese hobby.
Yep.
I was wondering if you'd be willing to share a bit about it.
Yeah, so I practice Jigen-ryu, which is kind of school of Japanese swordsmanship.
Okay.
It's about 400 odd years old. And I've been doing Japanese martial arts for about 20 years now, I think.
Okay.
Started with Iaido, drawing the sword,
Yep.
and then Kendo in the UK. And then I moved out to Japan and joined Jigen-ryu, which is very traditional kind of school of swordsmanship. When you join, you have to do keppan, which is writing out like a formal pledge and then signing it in blood at the end.
Really?
Yeah. And, you know, been practicing that ever since I came to Kagoshima, basically. So I practice samurai martial arts, and I work for the samurai lord. So I don't know what what I'm doing, basically.
That, if you think about it, that is a really well spent life.
Yeah.
Like, to be able to go that deep on something, especially as somebody who plays shamisen and has dedicated so much of myself to it, to look and say that there's somebody else who's been like, okay, you know what, I'm going to take this faction of Japan, I'm going to dive as deep as I can, I'm going to get into samurai martial arts, I'm going to work for one of the biggest samurai families in Japanese history, and to stick with it, because I think a lot of people don't realize that there are a lot of hoops to be jumped through.
Oh, yeah.
Both in the cultural martial arts as well as working in a Japanese company.
Absolutely.
And the more traditional it gets, the more difficult it gets. Like, there's an anime out right now about shamisen.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh, you should do a review of the anime. And I'm absolutely positive that doing a review or reaction to that anime would probably do really great on YouTube as content. But inside of the world of shamisen, because I know the people who played the music in that anime, I can't really get away with just reacting to it without stepping on toes and, you know. So
there's a lot of that, you know, senpai kohai, like the seniority within the schools and things like that. It's very, very difficult to navigate. But, you know, very rewarding if you manage to do that.
And they're saying you're almost a samurai at this point.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So what's this space here? Because it looks a little bit different than the other spaces we've come across. Is there anything special about it, or is it just
actually just in the middle of getting redeveloped?
Okay.
But there's a lot of kind of tropical plants here that aren't from Japan. So the Shimazu were very into kind of horticulture and bringing in different plant species and things like that.
Okay.
So there's a lot of subtropical kind of plants here. There was a big typhoon last year. Kind of damaged this area quite badly.
Yeah, there was, wasn't there?
Yeah, we're still in the process of just putting it all back together, but yeah. So it's more of a kind of tropical vibe up here than the main garden. But, you know, very nice to walk around, very peaceful.
And I'm actually really glad that we started this live stream as early in the morning as we did, considering the fact that it feels like the temperature has gone up something like 7 or 8 degrees. As all 3 of us are currently just drenched in sweat. Japanese summer is officially here, and if you know anything about Japanese summer, you'll know that that basically means that your pants turn into soup with humidity. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And so if you take a look at an area like Kyoto's closed off on 3 sides by mountains pointing towards the ocean, and it traditionally makes Kyoto a really humid, I guess, hot spot, if you will. How about this area? Because it, you know, Kagoshima literally is like a pair of pants
Yeah.
and it's closed off and just open to the ocean.
Yeah.
How's the humidity and all that here?
I mean, we're in the south, so again, it's quite humid, but you know, it doesn't feel as kind of claustrophobic as Kyoto does in summertime, right?
Look at that view.
We're on the sea, so.
You know what? I think I actually need to get out my phone and take a snap of this view right here, because this is just the shot with Sakurajima in the background there. This looks absolutely beautiful. So if you guys aren't screenshotting right now, I'm also gonna try to post a higher quality picture to Twitter for you sometime in the next day or two so you can take a peek at this. So there we go. Pictures have been taken, promises will be kept.
So we can see the house just appearing here as well below. So we haven't been able to go in this time, but it's definitely worth a visit.
I feel like had we actually been able to go into the house, we're probably looking at like a 2 to 3 hour live stream.
Yeah.
Because if just walking around the garden has given us this much to explore and talk about, going inside. So I know it's gonna come up because I'm curious about it. This seems like a small village here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one house for
This is one house.
for one person. Yeah.
This is one. I have so many questions.
So this is the historic part of the house. There's about 25 rooms left now, but originally there were 75. It was 3 times bigger than this.
What?
And they destroyed all the servants' quarters when they stopped living here full time, because wooden buildings are really hard to maintain. So they only kept the most important rooms. But originally it was 3 times bigger than this. It went all the way back up here onto the hill, and there were like 130 staff living here full time just to look after the Lord.
Wow.
And his family as well.
That is something else.
Yeah. So they were super, you know, high-rank warrior family. And then, you know, after the Meiji Restoration, when Japan became a modern country, they were named Prince Shimazu. So they had like this aristocracy system in Japan, and they were the highest rank of that as well.
Okay.
But now, after World War II, just Mr. Shimazu. Back to
Just Mr. Shimazu.
Yeah.
With this view in mind, I just want to say again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget the like button some love. And quite honestly, make sure you turn on all notifications for the channel if you enjoy streams. That way you will never miss a stream. There's going to be a lot of them, and they're all going to be impromptu. I'm probably not going to announce a lot of them. So if you have those notifications on, you won't miss them. So notifications on. I still love how you get the haze right here.
Yeah.
That low hanging haze. You know, if you get out there early enough in the morning and you're up on the viewpoint, you get the drone up, you can look down, it's like an unkai.
Nice.
You get that sea of clouds over
Yeah.
it. So where are we going from here?
I think we're done. We can walk back through to the main part of the garden again if you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
Take a little stroll. All our workers are starting to appear now, just coming into work in the morning.
A wild worker has appeared.
Yeah.
So how many gardeners does it take to maintain this place?
So we've got about 20 to 30 gardeners depending on the season, and they maintain here, but they also look after all the Shimazu family grave sites.
Okay.
So there are about 4 or 5 of those around Kagoshima Prefecture, and also temples and shrines related to the Shimazu clan as well. So it's not just here. I mean, some of the places are more than 2 hours drive away.
Wow.
And they go and take care of those as well. So it's a huge amount of work. And then in the, you know, hot, humid summer, you know, in the middle of the day, they're out there working their asses off. So yeah.
Wow.
Tough job.
Sounds like it. Like you think gardener and you imagine just like, you know, pruning some leaves, sweeping some stuff. No, these guys are doing the work.
Japanese gardening's hard. And then you got wild boar, you know, snakes, all kinds of stuff like that to deal with too.
So
once I was walking down here and there was a big snake actually just in one of these gaps here.
and yet you're still willing to put your hand that close.
Yeah, I'm leaving it in there, yeah. But I told one of our gardeners and he just grabbed it by the head and pulled it out.
Really?
Took it, yeah,
Just
took it
like it's
out.
nothing to them. Gotta respect those gardeners. So with that being said, I do want to once more give huge gratitude to you, Alex, for giving us this private tour here today.
My
So
pleasure.
I had you really far on the edge of the screen, and it's kind of like a fisheye lens. You're
okay.
you're very warpy. And there's going to be another very long exploration video coming up in the very near future where Mitch and I take a hike from the mountains and potentially end up on a volcano. So that's a real thing. It happened. I want to say a huge thank you to all of you who have joined this live stream today. If you don't want to miss another one, make sure you turn those notifications on. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. You guys know I love you. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you again real soon. But seriously, thank you so much for the private tour.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it's been great. It's been great fun.